As day 3 of the Donald Trump criminal trial in Manhattan was underway, juror number 2 told the judge that she thought she could no longer serve on the jury. She felt threatened, intimidated, and harassed. She stated that she had a number of concerns about her identity becoming public, and she said that her friends and family have already inquired about whether she is a juror. This from Kyle Griffin in the court. The juror added that given these outside influences, she was concerned about her ability to be fair and impartial. She told the court, "I definitely have concerns right now. Yesterday alone, I had friends and colleagues and family push things to my phone, questioning my identity as a juror." Juror number 2 had previously stated that she could be fair and impartial. As noted, she was the oncology nurse. She stated she could put aside her biases, and now she is no longer on the jury pool. The judge excused juror number 2. Now, what else did we know about juror number 2? Donald Trump's behavior and Donald Trump's amplification of things that were being said on right-wing media, not just about jurors, but specifically about juror number 2. Well, we previously reported here about Donald Trump's threatening and intimidating statements directed at jurors. Indeed, after juror number 2 was excused, the Manhattan District Attorney requested that 7 more of Donald Trump's recent acts, 7 more of his recent statements be added to an existing motion to hold Donald Trump in contempt, which will be held on April 24th. There will be a contempt hearing for Donald Trump there where sanctions are being sought, and if further violations take place, that Donald Trump be arrested. The district attorney's office said this is absolutely ridiculous. This behavior must stop. But here's one of the types of statements that Donald Trump made about jurors, and notice who he's quoting right here. "They are catching undercover liberal activists lying to the judge in order to get on the Trump jury." And Donald Trump has that in quotes, and he's purportedly quoting Jesse Waters, the far right-wing Fox News host. Now, Donald Trump's quote of Jesse Waters is significant because Jesse Waters just did an entire segment dedicated to juror number 2, who was just dismissed. Before juror number 2 felt threatened and intimidated, Fox spent an entire segment on juror number 2. And let me just show you the kind of qualifications and credentials of juror number 2. Not a liberal activist. Juror number 2 is the exact person who should have been on a jury, who's now been threatened and intimidated by this abhorrent behavior by Donald Trump, by Fox, by right-wing media. It is absolutely despicable. This is from earlier in the week from Jesse Waters. So when juror number 2 is out there telling the judge that she heard things and that her friends pushed things to phone, it's stuff like this, where an entire segment on Fox was dedicated to threaten and intimidate her on behalf of Donald Trump, who then quoted Jesse Waters in a post. Here, play this clip.
Number 2, a nurse from the Upper East Side with a master's degree. She's not married, has no kids, and lives with her fiance, who works in finance. She gets her news from the New York Times, Google, and CNN. She said 2 things that really stuck out. One, quote, "I don't really have an opinion of Trump," and, quote, "no one is above the law." I'm not so sure about juror number 2.
And in terms of Donald Trump's behavior directed at jurors, let me just share this with you from Tyler McBrien. So today, as the new 96 prospective jurors were entering the courtroom, and one of the pool reporters noted that as the new panel filed into the courtroom, some of the jurors were looking up at Donald Trump, but Donald Trump did not stand up for the prospective jurors. A pool reporter notes, curiously, when the defense is introduced to the potential jurors seated in the audience, Trump does not stand up like his legal team does to turn and face them. You always turn and face the jurors when they arrive. Remember, on day 2, Donald Trump was also admonished by Justice Merchan, the judge presiding over this case, for kind of almost looked like he was like lurching and grunting at a prospective juror when she was being asked about her Facebook posts that she had made. And Donald Trump was making these noises. And because that juror may have been also felt kind of pressured or intimidated, the judge removed that juror as well during day 2. And the judge warned Donald Trump not to continue to engage in that behavior.
Have you ever wished that you had a whiter and brighter smile? Well, before you visit a dentist, you should know that their whitening treatments can be very expensive. And it's not just the price. You also have to book the appointment and schedule time away from work or your family to just sit in a dentist's office chair while undergoing the procedure. Look, it's a hassle. Fortunately, now you can try Smile Actives at home or anywhere, anytime. Smile Actives offers a safe and an affordable alternative to those expensive whitening procedures. You may not have known this, but I won Best Smile in high school, and it's a lot of pressure to keep up with that. So throughout my adulthood, I used a variety of different whitening agents, and honestly, they were complicated, messy, and they didn't work. Having a nice bright smile is so important. First impressions and all that. You know what they say. That's why I'm so happy I found Smile Actives. Now, Smile Actives makes a teeth whitening gel that can simply be added to your toothpaste every time you brush your teeth. So no change in your routine, no extra time, and no more messy strips, trays, or lights. Simply add Smile Actives Pro Whitening Gel to your regular toothpaste. It's been formulated with polyclean technology to boost stain removal and deliver active whitening ingredients into teeth's grooves and crannies to get better whitening. 97% of Smile Actives users in a clinical trial reported up to 6 shades whiter on average, all within 30 days. People will start commenting on your whiter, brighter smile in just days. Visit smileactives.com/Meidas today to receive a special buy one, get one free offer with auto delivery plus free shipping and handling. That's smileactives.com/Meidas. Terms and conditions apply. See site for details.
But folks, the bottom line is no matter what the outcome of this case is, one of the things that you want, regardless, is a fair and impartial juror and a fair and impartial jury. And Trump's behavior is making that not just difficult, but he's outright tampering with the jury, in my opinion. And it's getting to the point where, or it's gotten to the point a while ago where it's just stop with this nonsense about monetary sanctions. Just literally throw him in jail. Throw him in jail. If we are a country of law and order, throw this maniac in jail, because what's going on here would not be allowed in any other court, or anyone else would be serving serious prison time, not just thrown in jail for a short period of time for this behavior. Right. And then Donald Trump, because he's trying to pick prospective jurors from Harlem, he goes, I'm going to a Harlem bodega. And then he shows up, and we did a whole report on this earlier in the day, and he had the New York Young Republicans show up there and pretend that they were from the neighborhood to start cheering Donald Trump on so they can try to pick jurors from that neighborhood as well. Remember when Trump left the court on the second day and goes, I'm going to the bodega, follow me. And then the media gave him headlines like, he was greeted so great in Harlem. He was greeted great by the bodega. And they didn't do like a modicum of research that, maybe that's actually the New York Young Republican Club that was there, like the way MeidasTouch does research, and we could look at the photos and go, oh, look, all those people were in that photo of the New York Young Republican Club. Here, this is when Donald Trump said that. Play this clip.
Going to a bodega. You know about that, right?
So Donald Trump has to respond to the new sanctions motion for contempt that was brought by, it was an oral motion that was brought by the district attorney. Trump has to respond by Friday. Trump's previewed his response already. His response is that he's just republishing the statements of others. It's not him saying it. He's just saying what Jesse Waters said. So there's nothing wrong with him going about doing it. That's one of the things that Donald Trump's going to argue. He also is going to argue that his statements are vague and ambiguous, and he's just reacting to defend himself and protect himself. That's what he's arguing. And his lawyer, Alina Habba, you'll see her right now, is going on the network saying that, look, if Donald Trump has to go to jail for his threatening and harassing jurors, he'll just be like the modern day Nelson Mandela. He'll be like Mandela. Here, play this clip.
Do you think that this threat of 30 days in jail will change the social media actions of the former president in any way, or will he keep doing this?
I don't think so. I think that he is respectful, but there has to be boundaries and we should appeal it. It's currently on appeal. So there's also a due process element to this. We have items on appeal in this case that have not yet been heard.
Is he concerned about the possibility of being sent to jail as a ramification of these? He's not concerned about being sent to jail.
I think like anybody, he's concerned about going to jail. But if they put him in jail for his First Amendment right, he will be like Nelson Mandela. I mean, that would be just absurd. And frankly, they'll win him the election.
I just have a second.
Well, that's what we have for now, folks. One of the things I'll just briefly update you on as well. I know Michael Popok's going to be doing a longer video on this. There's an issue with juror number 4 as well. And so it's possible that we'll have gone from 7 prospective jurors to 5 jurors. A new group of 96 jurors will be, has been entering the courtroom. Remember we previously said 7 jurors had been selected and sworn in. Well, that juror number 2 is no longer there. There's also this juror number 4 who didn't show up today. And there was also an issue with juror number 4 who was previously arrested for ripping down political signs a long time ago, but didn't check the box that they had previously been arrested, and so provided false information on the voir dire questioning. But that juror didn't even arrive on time. And so it looks like we've gone from 7 to 5, and then a new batch of 96 prospective jurors will come in, ultimately to select the 12 jurors plus the alternates. So that's where we are right now. But it's a shame that juror number 2 is no longer on the jury, simply because it seems like she was a fair and impartial juror. I mean, anyway. I'm Ben Meiselas. This is the MeidasTouch Network. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 3 million together.
Enough! Send him to the big house, not the White House. Get the new exclusive tees, mugs, and stickers right now at store.meidastouch.com. That's store.meidastouch.com.